Good morning. It is 10 o'clock, and we had a date. I'm here. Are you? It's time for Midweek Motivation Live with your host today, Patrick Lee. I hope everyone is doing well. We're going to give a couple of people a minute or two to jump on the live podcast today, and I'm excited about being with you again today. I hope you're doing well. People already starting to tune in. Love that, love that, love that. Going to be talking about your calendar, things that you say yes to, and how you relate in relationships today. It's going to be great. We are going to be back. You know the drill. We will be back right after this. And we are back. Midweek Motivation Live today. Clearing my throat a little bit. Everyone's already tuning in. Love to see that. Multiple people already watching the show. Wow, my eye itches a little bit. That's odd. I have new glasses coming. These are still excellent, but there's a tiny little scratch. You can't see it, but I can. So, new glasses on the way. I'll be changing up my look here shortly. I hope y'all like it. Anyway, it's all good. People already tuning in. People already commented. Hey, Pete. Hey, Sal. My two regulars, always here first time the show goes on. People already liking and loving the show. What are you saying yes to today? What are you allowing to fill your schedule that shouldn't be there? And how do you relate that to your life and relationships with others? Today on Midweek Motivation Live, now on all major podcast platforms. People are starting to share the show and show the share, however that works. And Buzzsprout continues to tell us how many downloads we get of the show each week. Last couple of shows, the last couple of weeks have been amazing. So downloads have been great. Continue to like, love, and share the show. I had the show shared, reposted on social media last week. The one about gambling. What are you gambling with? Live from Las Vegas. And someone commented and said, I thought the Bible says we're not supposed to gamble. And I said, she didn't watch the show. I just commented, watch the show, get the context in what we're talking about. And that's what I recommend everyone do. Watch the show. Don't just look at the title. The title's there to hook you in, but the show is where the meat is. That's where we get into the topic. But yes, share the show on all major podcast platforms, wherever you're watching it. Go in and give us a good review. If you're watching on YouTube, of course, subscribe to the channel, Midweek Motivation Live channel, and click the bell for notifications. As always, we'll go through this at the end of the show again as well. I do the show for you for free as a service each and every week live. And take time out of my day. And the best way for you to help me is go to my calendar, the link in the comments below this video, www.patricklee.work. That is my digital business card. And you can get an appointment with me, find out how I can help you, maybe coach you in your life, help you with buying or selling or investing in real estate. But really, I just want to get to talk to you. Have a conversation with you, get to know you better, find out if there's a way that we can be beneficially helpful to each other. That's my goal with the show. If you can go to Google, you can always leave me a Google review. If I have ever helped you in the past buying or selling real estate or helped you in your life, go to the Patrick Lee Group on Google and click on reviews and leave us a 5-star. If we earned a 5-star, I hope so. But today I want to talk to you about what are you saying yes to? Some of the things I learned in these last couple of weeks traveling to Vegas and some other different places, and listening to a lot of different people, sermon-wise in church and business-wise in conferences and different meetings that I've been to, is the problem with the calendar and how the calendar relates to our weekly and daily schedule. I was volunteering yesterday at a local nonprofit, and we had rented a lift, and we're putting some big acoustical panels up on a wall. And one of the comments that kept being made by a friend of mine who is retired now and volunteers there as well is, "You're a busy man. You need to get back to work." I said, "I am a busy man. I do need to get back to work, but this time is scheduled for you. I've allotted this time for you. It's okay. Quit telling me to leave. I have dedicated this time to get this job done." And he's like, "But you're so busy. I know your schedule is full." And I'm like, "Yes, my schedule is full to the level that I want it to be. Sometimes a little more full beyond the level that I want it to be. And sometimes it's because that's where it needs to be, right? Your schedule needs to fit your life, but you need to plan your life. What you fail to plan will plan to move its way out of your life. So I try to schedule these things in advance. So if I can be a man of my word, I'm going to move higher in life. If I can keep the commitments I've made to myself, I'm going to move further in life. We've done a whole show on that multiple times. Keep the commitments you make to yourself. If you can't keep the commitments you have said yes to in your own life, how in the world are you going to ever be able to keep those commitments you've said yes to other people in their life? So for the last couple of years, ever since I coached, I had a coach, different coach, Wally Bressler, amazing guy. And he coached me on my calendar and helped me get my calendar in line. Color code it. What are you saying yes to? And the things I learned while I was doing that, of course, are the things that are the most important, are the major blocks that go into your calendar first. What is the most important thing in your life? For me, it's God, family, business. That's the order. And I try to keep it that way: God, family, business. Because if I take care of God's house, God takes care of my house. If I take care of my family, I have time to give and help pour into other people and help them in their families. And then my business last. God is my supply, not my business. My business is where my direct major amount of income comes from, the business I own and run, the Patrick Lee Group. That's it. But God is the supply, and God honors that. And the comment that I made yesterday while I was working with this guy was, God is my supply. Don't forget that. If I take care of God's house, God will take care of my house. That's seed time and harvest. Part of the other things that we talk about on the show all the time. It's a law. It's a natural and spiritual law, seed time and harvest. There will always be a time for you to invest, time for you to sow into something, and life will, God will, the world will bring that back to you. Wave upon wave. It will come back to you if you sow, invest, and put your time into God's kingdom and others. It cannot help but come back to you. The law is seed time and harvest. So I told him, God is my supply. It's okay. While I am taking care of God's house, God will come back and take care of my house. That's a big key. If you are neglecting your house, number one, get your house in order. Where does that start, Patrick? What are you talking about, Mr. Midweek Motivation Live? Getting your house in order. I hope some of you have buckled up, because sometimes you need a wake-up call, and today may be it for you. You need to get your house in order. What does that mean? I've heard that before. Get my house in order. Well, let's start with your calendar and your house. How much time do you have time scheduled in your calendar for your home? What does that mean? Your home life consists of, number one, you, number two, your spouse, number three, your home. What are you doing to take care of you? That's all good. We've got that covered. But getting your home in order means next your spouse, your relationship with your spouse, and your relationship with your spouse in your home. How many hours a week are you scheduling with your spouse? Now, I'd see, if you're the lady, we're talking about your husband. Are you honoring your husband? If you're the man, how about your wife? Are you giving security, love, peace, contentment, and financial consideration to your wife? Those are the first things you need to start working on, getting your house in order. What are you saying yes to? Are you saying yes to your commitment to your spouse that you gave to her on your wedding day, that said, I will love, honor, cherish, and maybe obey until death do us part, right? What God has joined together, let no man or woman put asunder. So let's talk about a topic that been has been running through business. I just coming back from Vegas. My spouse was Stephanie. Most of you know my wife. If you know us personally, you know my wife. Stephanie was coming to Vegas with me. We had EXPCon, the largest event of the year for real estate agents at EXP Realty, the largest cloud brokerage in America, now in 23 other countries. Just surpassed the 89,000 agent mark. So we rent the Mandalay. It's a huge place. And we have tens of thousands of agents that converge on Las Vegas from all over the country. I am there. Multiple other real estate agents, friends of mine in the business, are there. Many of them have their spouses that work with them in the business, so they're able to bring their spouse, take care of their spouse. Their spouse is a part of the business. You're sharing the Las Vegas experience together. Your house is in order. There are many of my friends, including myself, that Stephanie was not able to go. We had received some bad news, and her grandmother is entering some final stages of her life. And so the extra days that we had booked and reserved for Stephanie to come and spend 3 days with me in Vegas, for us to have a little getaway, we had to cancel. She needed to be here, needed to be local, based on the situation, wanted me to continue to go, learn, grow myself so we can grow the business, which helps grow our house. I'm teaching you guys some life lessons right here. And I said, I want you to go. Stephanie has gone with me in the past. And I met many friends there that were there without their spouses and have had conversations with good friends lately about how that goes, how that looks. You go to a conference, they always ply you up with multiple buffets and food and different meet and greets, and you're meeting and learning. One of the best things I get from all of these conferences are referral partners in my life. They help me grow my life and my business. I make new friends. Some of the people that I met this last week were people that I've said, hey, you're going to be a great referral partner. We can refer business back and forth in your city. And a few of those people I was able to tell and share with them. It's like, I didn't just meet a referral partner. I've made a new friend. And hopefully these are relationships that we will carry on through life. And that helps grow me. It grows me. It grows my relationships, which is part of what we talk about here on Midweek Motivation Live, right? Motivating you to success in every area of your life. Relationships are key. So I'm growing relationships, adding friends to my list. And these are going to be people that can help me grow, help me develop to become a better person, possibly someone I can help them develop and grow and become a better person for them and their spouse. But many of these people, you go to these shows, these conferences, and you meet a lot of people, and it seems like, and I'm not just talking off the cuff here, many of you have stories. Someone you know has gone to a conference and inadvertently or on purpose, they end up going overboard with a person of the opposite sex, and they're married and they end up in trouble. Number one thing you never want to allow to happen in your relationship when you're traveling alone. You need accountability partners. I have lady friends that were there that are my personal local friends that are married, from other cities that are married. I had people in one instance come to me privately and ask me, hey, is so-and-so married? Is this lady married? If you have any plans on asking someone out or trying to develop a relationship with someone of the opposite sex, they are going to try to ask you, hey, is this person married? Are they acting unmarried, or are they really not married? Are they single, and are they looking? Are they single and ready to mingle? And that happens in life. It happens in church. It happens all over. But my job as the bulldog on the trip is to let everyone know in no uncertain terms, no one's getting with anyone. Everyone here is married. They're married. If they're not married in their personal life to their spouse, they're married to their business and their company, and we're not going to allow them to make mistakes while they're in another city under the influence of Las Vegas. They've been at a mixer and they've had a couple of drinks. No one's getting in trouble on my watch. And those friends are the same way with me. We have a group called the Honey Badgers, and you may think that the Honey Badgers, we have a motto that's just the honey badger doesn't give a whatever, and you can fill in the blank. But the thing about that that's absolutely the opposite is the honey badger cares about every other honey badger. People in my organization of agents, I think there's over 10,000 of us now. And if you're a honey badger, you watch out for all the other honey badgers. We're naturally watching out for our friends and our spouses, but then secondarily, we're watching out for our honey badgers. So, what are we saying yes to? We're saying yes to the fact that we're going to be responsible. When you leave an event, everyone is together and everyone goes back to their own room alone. Everyone is taken care of. Everyone is chaperoned or watched out for. It's part of what you do. It's responsibility in friendships and relationships. So getting your house in order means that you have these things in line, in order. You have these hard discussions with your significant partner, your spouse, your husband, your wife, and these are the conversations you have before you take these steps. You go on these trips where you're going to be separated. If you're a truck driver, I have friends and clients that are long haul truck drivers. You've all heard the stories about them going to the truck stops. And when you're traveling other towns, people are always trying to get with all the truckers. So it could be whatever part of life you're in, and it may even be in your local town. You guys know this is how it works. People are always trying to find ways to hook up with you. And in business, we're trying to find ways to meet and grow and develop relationships, but we're not out there to be trying to hook up with people. We're trying to develop, but you have to have your house in order and able to do that effectively. You need to know, and your spouse needs to know, that at home you're good. If you're out in the world professional flirting because it grows your business, you had better be confident in the fact that you and your spouse know and understand the commitment that you have to each other and can trust each other. And you know that you can be friendly, you can develop relationships, but you're not doing it in a manner to where you are betraying a trust to your spouse in able to do that. And if that is the type of relationship that person is trying to develop with you to grow that relationship or to grow business with you, is they want something, they want relationship with benefits on the side. That is not a relationship that's wholesome that you need to follow along. Hope y'all are tracking with me. So what are you saying yes to? You better be saying yes to getting your house in order first. You and God need to be in order first, but your household, God, family, business, you better be taking care of your kids. Not just financially, but you need to be looking out for them, protecting them. You need to be honey badgering over your children as well and making sure that they are taken care of, that they're developing good relationships. We know that as they reach the age of adulthood, my kids are 27 and 31, and I'm still looking over them regularly to make sure some of those relationships, friendships may not be negative or detrimental to them and bring them down. We're always looking out for our kids. And then we're looking out. Family still includes parents. Are you saying yes to looking out for your parents, your grandparents, the loved ones that are still in your life? You certainly should be. You certainly should be. It's family responsibility. Unless that person has made it clear they're separated from you, they don't want anything to do with you, they don't like you, they won't pour into you, that relationship is not reciprocal, that person has chosen to remove themselves from your life. You can't chase after people to make relationships happen if they're not willing to work as hard on the relationship as you are. You have Patrick Lee's permission to walk away from those people. Sometimes they're friends, sometimes they're family, but that person chooses to walk away from you. Does that make sense? After you've got that in order, then you start getting into your business, God, family, and business. What are you saying yes to in business? Are you saying yes to too much YouTube? Are you saying yes to too many lunches and mixers and events and ways to just go out and avoid working in your business or on your business, as opposed to, don't get me wrong, going to mixers are good. Going to some events are good. You need to develop relationships. We're all about it. We just talked about that. But don't say yes to so many things that your calendar gets full of events where you just bounce from one event to the next event to the next event, and you eat whatever's out on the buffet because they have finger food, you have some drinks, you make relationships that are not good, but you don't actually ply your trade. You don't have the ability to mingle and build relationships with people that are going to bring you business. They have something that's a totally side business. It will have nothing to do with what you do. That one person probably, if I'm a realtor, that one person probably knows 24 other realtors and as a personal friend with 3 of them. Are they going to bring your business? Are you going to spend 5 years trying to develop a relationship by that person by always showing up at the same events they're at? Is that what's going to make them decide to use you to sell their house? Is that what's going to make them want to come to your restaurant instead of their favorite restaurant they've been going to for years? Are you going to be their Are you going to be their backup, the person that they come to when their significant person is no longer available or leaves that relationship? I have friends that are like that. They have come to me after they have tried realtor A, B, and C. They end up getting referred to me, or they saw me online. They met me somewhere and they said, my number one regret using you now is that I didn't use you 5 years ago. I wish I would have met you 5 years ago. And I'm like, you should have. We could have done this much better, and you would be much further along today than you were. But I don't spend my time going to so many of these, saying yes to, filling my calendar with event after event after event, happy hour after happy hour after happy hour, and just going to places where these people are to be seen, but not actually spending time working in my business, making calls, running numbers, doing the things to do our marketing, to be reaching out to the people to find out who actually wants to do business with me. And this is very critical for you and your business now, no matter what business you're in. If you're a pastor, you'd better be doubling down on the fundamentals as a pastor. If you own a restaurant, you had better be doubling and tripling down on the fundamentals of customer service, timeliness, food quality, all of those, and marketing. Times are tough. I told you in a previous show, maybe I'll share this stat. America has just surpassed the $1 trillion mark in credit debt for the first time in our history. That tells us that people are using their credit cards to go out to eat. People are using credit cards to pay their bills. People are using credit cards to make their car payment or their truck payment. They're taking one credit account and they're maxing it out, using it to pay other things that we used to use our paycheck for. So as times get rough in the real estate business right now, interest rates are high. They're in the 7s, but they're where they were. It's the average over the last 40 or 50 years. So they're average, but they're higher than they have been for about the previous 5 or 6 years. They were down in the 3s or 4s. Some people I know, friends of mine, have interest rates on their homes in the 2s, low 2s for a very short time. When Trump was president, we had some interest rates in the low 2s and the high 1s. Unsustainable. 3s and 4s were great while they lasted. Unsustainable. You can't do that in America forever. So interest rates are in the 7s. I had purchased my house 25 years ago at 7%. Rates were here then. When they were down in the 3s, I refinanced my house. So interest rates are higher. Inflation is higher. Everything costs more. If you bought Nesquik at Sam's for $2.99 6 months ago, I guarantee you it's $8.99 now. It doesn't matter what it is. Sugar, rice, flour, they've almost doubled in price. Milk, beef, those things have gone through the roof as well. So if you're filling your calendar with all of these seemingly mindless events, filling your time bouncing like a mosquito from one event to another event to another event, and not working in your business, your chances are your business could fail. You could end up out of business by the end of this year or next year if you don't start saying yes to the things that you know fundamentally will grow your business. I hope you're getting this. If you're a restaurant, I've just told you. If you're in insurance, you need to be on the phone, being outward reaching. I have sent out requests for quotes to bundle my insurance in the last 2 months to 5 insurance agents, and I've received responses from 2. Just so you know, if you're in the insurance business, life, health, auto, home, Most of the top three and a lot of other independents are coming back with automatic declines. If you have insurance, your insurance agent, it's time for renewal. Your insurance company could be declining you for coverage moving forward. If you put a new roof on your house, I've got some declines from one of the big three, from Farmers. Farmers gave me an automatic decline on a request for a quote, and I'm with another of the big three right now. My insurance agent sold his book of business, got out of business altogether when he could have grown, marketed. He's in a wonderful location. He could have grown his business. Instead, when it got tough, he sold his book of business to another agent, sold his building to another agent, and has moved on into other endeavors. Luckily, in the past, I had helped him, other people had helped him, and he's developing another line of income. So good for him. But Farmers gave me an automatic decline because we put a new roof on our house 2 years ago. We had a major hailstorm come through. We filed a roof claim, got on a new roof. Our house has a new roof. You'd think it would be more insurable now. It's a nice 30-year roof, beautiful black roof. And they said, no, you filed a claim, so now we think you're a risk. I'm like, oh, I'm a risk? You're an insurance company. Isn't that what you sell? I'm willing to pay you a whole lot of money to insure my home, my cars. And they said, well, you actually used your insurance. So if you're an insurance agent, if you're selling some kind of commodity, if you're in the financial services business, you had better be doubling down on what it is that made you successful. You need to start providing customer service, getting out of the events that you're saying yes to, and start working on quotes. Start working on the mechanics of your business. Lead generation. Everyone's a lead. Everyone you meet is a lead, right? Are you actually following through with your leads? Are you making outbound calls to anybody? Are you 100% waiting on your phone to ring? Many realtors are in this boat. And for years, it has been a brag of mine, a pride point of mine, that most of my business is referral. So my phone rings frequently. While I was in Vegas, I received the phone rang twice. I got 2 referrals to new business I would not have had in 2 different markets here. And my phone does ring. And I've ran into people at Walmart this weekend, and they're like, hey, you need to come by and look at my house. I'm ready to sell. That happens to me every day because I've built a business with a reputation for getting referrals. Does that mean I don't need to reach out to people in my data bank? Absolutely not. Do I not need to develop relationships and renew relationships with the people I already know, love, and trust? Absolutely not. Does it mean that referrals, I need to stop worrying about referrals and start pounding the phone? Absolutely not. What does that mean? It means I need to start saying yes to all of the things that fundamentally help me grow my business. Does that mean outbound calls? Absolutely. Does it mean going to a couple of events where I can meet new people? Absolutely. Does it mean solidifying and renewing relationships with people in my sphere of influence? My church, my clubs, my book group, your wine group, your scotch drinking group, your cigar group, your gun group. How many times do you meet with your friends and get together and do things that are going to grow your relationship to where you are the only person they're going to do business with in that category? If you are not front of mind, you're last of mind. Ricky Bobby said it best in Talladega Nights. It's not a wholesome Christian movie, but he said it best. If you're not first, you're last. If you're not front of mind, you're out of mind. That's just a better way to say it. If you're not first, you're last, because if you're not first, no other place matters. It starts with your relationship with God. If God's not first, he's last. Don't tell me, well, God's on a side burner. God needs to be on the front burner. Good morning, Larry. Larry knows this all too well. Good to see you on here, bud. Appreciate you, man. Say hi to Wayne for me. LOL. Private joke. Good to see you watching the show. But you know this, Larry runs a land clearing and landscaping and construction business out in Oregon and does a lot of other things. But Larry knows it. Then all of you watching, Cody knows, Terry knows, every one of you that watch the show, that whether you pastor a church, you run a business, you know that if you don't continue to do the things that help your business grow, your business will find a way to go out of business. I hope this is helping you today. I've been talking pretty fast. We've been going through all of the things, but that's it. It's what are you saying yes to? Number one, say yes to God. Say yes to the good things in your life that are going to help grow you. Get your relationship with Him right. Say yes to your relationship at home. Get your house in order. Solidify, renew, reinvest time into your spouse, your significant other. Love, honor, security, financial, romance, all of the things that your spouse needs. Find if you don't know what it takes to romance, to woo your spouse, find out, have an honest conversation with them and ask them and say, hey, where are we lacking in our relationship? What could I do better for you to feel more loved, appreciated, more considered? And consideration is one of the top ones that most people will say. I would just like to know that you thought about me before you made that decision. Consideration goes so far with people. And it seems like I'm touching on some of the basics, the fundamentals, but the fundamentals are what get us to move forward. The fundamentals are the way that we have achieved what we've achieved. And I believe that if we double down on those, it's going to be the way that we move forward in success. Cody says, yes is always the answer, but with conditions. I love you, my friend, and I will see you for lunch, but I don't agree. So I do believe that no is a very empowering. And once you have set clear goals, it will be easier for you to say no to some things. You can say, yes is always the answer, has been my habit for years. If I can, and here's my disclaimer on that, Cody. If I can, the answer is always yes. But there are going to be times, and Cody knows this, there are going to be times that it's just no, I just can't. So with conditions, a lot of times, yes. And if those conditions meet your boundaries, absolutely. I love that. I love that. Good answer. Ann says, great practical advice. I love you, Ann. Thank you so much. I just commented on your post as well you made yesterday. Great information that you posted, a chart of this versus that, and it was very good. Thank you. So that's it this week, guys. I hope this has reached out to some of you. It's spoken to some of you. Double down, triple down on the fundamentals, the things that have made you successful in your relationship with the Lord, in your relationships at home, getting your house and your family in order, and then your business as well. Times are tough all around us. I'm not going to get on here and tell you they're not. It is not all rainbows, unicorns, and butterflies. We are living in a very tense world right now. I'm not going to add to that on the show today, but I'm going to give you one final recommendation. This is your bonus tip. Your bonus tip from Midweek Motivation Live, Patrick Lee, who loves you this week, is stay off of social media. I know this is on social media, and that's not what I mean. If you're getting all of the news from X or Instagram or Snapchat or TikTok, you are sadly getting misrepresented news, whether you are for or against any politician, any war, any skirmish, any political rule or law that is happening right now. We are all being deceived on multiple levels, and the media is painting a picture that is making everyone look bad and no one look good. Do not use social media for your news. I'm just telling you, if you want to spend your time on social media and start going down all of these rabbit trails, you will build nothing but hatred. You will build all of that hatred on lies and deceit. You will be fooled into thinking a thought that is not wholesome, that is not true, and is not pure. Stay off of social media. And I'm going to leave it right there. Watch the Midweek Motivation Live with Patrick Lee. And if you get your news from a trusted news source, someone who has proven over time, over the last few years, who has a track record of providing honest, good, solid reporting that you trust, and what they said has become true, and you have seen that happen over and over and over again, stick with those people. Stay away from the main news media. Stay away from anything that you see on social media. So many of the videos that are being posted now as representative of what's going on in Israel are not true. Many of those videos are proven to have been posted years ago. They're from things that are not true. They're from entirely different events, and they're trying to paint a picture of who's the bad guy and who's the good guy. None of us believe that war is good. We all believe that good will prevail in the end, and we pray and believe the best that a good solution will come out of all of this. But I'm here to help you. I'm here to motivate you. If you have any questions, if you have any problems, if you need someone to talk to, or you want to buy, sell, or invest in real estate, click on the link to my digital business card in the comments below the show, www.patricklee.work, and I'd be happy to talk to you. Until next time, this has been Patrick Lee. Courage begins at the end of your comfort zone. So get out there, be uncomfortable today, do the hard things so that your life in the future can be easier. Make a new friend, develop a new relationship. Bye-bye.